Hey, Shalom, Bakim, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to say, Call Halal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakahakudash. Send double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Send much peace, love, and salutations to Yakim out there pushing the word of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, in sincerity and truth. Mr. Brother Ariala. And on this lesson right here, I just wanted to do another stories of victory. And this one is one that was mentioned out there on the highways and byways, so I figured I'd come back and read it. Go through it. One of our favorite stories is the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and them being delivered from the fiery furnace. And so I wanted to read that story, man. It's a beautiful story of victory, and whatever precepts come to mind for you, Akin, please post into the chat or the comment board. Okay, so this is the book of Daniel, the 3rd chapter. I'm gonna read this in the GNT, all right, and just kind of read this story. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 3, verse 1. It says, King Nebuchadnezzar had a gold statue made 90 feet high and 9 feet wide, and he had it set up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Then the king gave orders for all his officials to come together, the princes, the governors, lieutenant governors, commissioners, treasurers, judges, magistrates, and all the other officials of the provinces. They were to attend to the dedication of the statue which King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. When all these officials gathered for the dedication and stood in front of the statue, a herald announced in a loud voice, "People of all nations, races, and languages, you will hear the sound of the trumpets, followed by the playing of oboes, lyres, zithers, and harps. And then all the other instruments will join in. As soon as the music starts, you are to bow down and worship the gold statue, this gold idol, that King Nebuchadnezzar has set up. Anyone who does not bow down and worship will immediately be thrown into a blazing furnace." And so, as soon as they heard the sound of the instruments, the people of all nations, races, and languages bowed down and worshiped the gold statue which Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Now, as you read this, I know for a lot of you brothers, what's going to come to mind is what? Revelation, the 13th chapter, and where worshiping that beast in its image, right? At least you be put to death, right? And so this is happening here during the time of Babylon with this golden idol, okay, this golden statue, okay. So that's at Revelation. You got Babylon the Great, that whore, and here you have ancient Babylon, and you see why it's called Great Babylon, right? Mystery Babylon. Verse 8 says, "It was then that some Babylonians took the opportunity to denounce the Jews. They said to King Nebuchadnezzar, 'May your majesty live forever. Your majesty has issued an order that as soon as the music starts, everyone is to bow down and worship the gold statue, and that everyone who does not bow and worship it is to be thrown into a blazing furnace. There are some Jews whom you put in charge of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who are disobeying your majesty's orders. They do not worship your God or bow down to the statue you set up.'" All right, so one of the key things here is that if you read in the previous chapter, you see that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego wasn't just some low-level Jake. They was actually high-ranking Jake in the province, and they had been appointed to high-ranking offices by Nebuchadnezzar's government, by the Babylonian government. All right, and it was through Daniel's appointment, actually, that they got picked. All right, it says, "At that, the king flew into a rage and ordered the 3 men to be brought before him. He said to them, 'Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, is it true that you refuse to worship my God and to bow down to the gold statue I have set up? Now then, as soon as you hear the sound of the trumpets, oboes, lyres, zithers, harps, and all the other instruments, bow down and worship the statue. If you do not, you will be immediately thrown into a blazing furnace. Do you think there is any God who can save you?' Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered, 'Your Majesty, We will not try to defend ourselves. If the God whom we serve is able to save us from the blazing furnace and from your power, then he will. But even if he doesn't, your majesty may be sure that we will not worship your God. We will not bow down to the gold statue that you have set up. So they stood on faith. They stood on understanding that Yahweh is the power of the universe, man, and through him he can do anything. All right, access with him. All right, and that's why we call on Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. We know that Yahweh Shai is our mediating access to Yahweh to get that power, right? To be saved from anything that's going on. Okay, so they standing on business, right? It says this in verse 19. Then Nebuchadnezzar lost his temper, and his face turned red with anger at Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So he ordered the furnace to be heated 7 times hotter than usual. All right, 7 times hotter than usual. And he commanded the strongest men in his army to tie the 3 men up and throw them into the blazing furnace. So they tied them up, fully dressed, shirts, robes, caps, and all, and threw them into the blazing furnace. Now, because the king had given strict orders for the furnace to be made extremely hot, the flames burnt up the guards who took the men to the furnace. So they opened the furnace, or they brought them to the furnace, and the fire was so intense, it melted the guards. All right. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, still tied up, fell into the heart of the blazing furnace. Suddenly, Nebuchadnezzar leaped to his feet in amazement. He asked his officials, "Didn't we tie up 3 men and throw them in the blazing furnace?" They answered, "Yes, we did, your majesty." "Then why do I see 4 men walking around in the fire?" he asked. They are not tied up, and they show no sign of being hurt. And the 4th one looks like an angel. So the Most High sent an angel, okay, a redeeming angel, to protect Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego because of their faith. All right, to the point so it's even seen by the heathen nations. They see he saw an angel, right? It says, so Nebuchadnezzar went up to the door of the blazing furnace and called out, "Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, servants of the supreme power, servants of Yahweh, come out." And they came out at once. All the princes, governors, lieutenant governors, and other officials of the king gathered to look at the 3 men who had not been harmed by the fire. Their hair was not singed, their clothes were not burned. There was no smell of smoke on them. So the angel had put a force field around them while they were in the midst of that intense heat. And you got to believe Most High can do that for us, and will do that for us if we believe. When we come into this destruction that's coming to this world has been deemed to end by fire. Okay, and so this story of victory, this example right here, should uplift your spirits. The Most High's, man. Right? It says, the king said, "Praise the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He sent his angel and rescued these men who serve and trust him. They disobeyed my orders and risked their lives rather than bow down and worship any god except their own. And now I will command that if any one of any nation, race, or language speaks disrespectfully of the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, he is to be torn limb from limb, and his house is to be made a pile of ruins. There is no other God who can rescue like this." So when these other nations see how we're saved out of here, they will come and they will have to recognize that Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, is the supreme power in the universe. And it will be announced. But it takes us to stand up first and say, we're not bound down to no gods. This is the true power. He has the will to do what he wants. And if he wants us to be saved, we will be, wherever, whenever, however. Then these other heathens are going to watch a demonstration of the glory of the Heavenly Father on earth, man. And they're going to bow down. Verse 30 says, and the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to higher positions in the province of Babylon. So look at that. So even after them defying the king, not bowing down to this God. They ended up, having even higher positions that they were in. Okay? That's the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. That's why we got to call on his name. All right? Now, just for a precept, wait a minute. I want to read Romans chapter 8. All right. Verse 31 says, what shall we say to these things? For if the Most High be for us, who can be against us? All right. He that spared not his own son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things? All right. Whom shall lay anything to the charge of the Most High's elect? It is the Most High that justifieth. Okay. Who is he that condemneth? It is Hamashiach that died, yea, rather, that is risen again, who is even at the right hand of the Most High, who also maketh intercession for us. All right? So with that power being behind us, there ain't nothing that can be done, man. All right? Isaiah 48:9 says, for my name's sake I will defer mine anger, and for my praise will I refrain for thee, that I cut thee not off. All right? Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. For my own sake, even for my own sake, will I do it. For how should my name be polluted? And I will not give my glory unto another. All right, so because he put his name on us, we would change to Israel, Yashar Allah, Princess of the Power. The Most High will redeem his elect, because he's not going to allow his name to be polluted forever in the earth, and for the people with his name to just be cast down amongst the heathen forever, man. So we got to have that faith like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to be able to deal with facing death, painful death. We always talk about the trials by fire and being refined as gold. Well, they went through it literally. And you best believe when all hell breaks loose and they getting ready to have World War III and those missiles getting sent, we got to have that faith like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to get up out of here, man. So I always love this story. Great story of victory. I just wanted to put that on wax, man. So with that, man, call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua Ba'ashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors once again to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to Yakim out there pushing the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua, and sincerity and truth. Shalom.